My phone began buzzing so hard on the nightstand that I thought something was wrong with the house. Message after message lit up the screen, each one from my daughter, Alina, her words hitting with the force of thrown stones. Mama, delete that photo. Mama, do you hear me? Take it down now. Mama, stop posting. You're making everything worse. For a moment, I just sat there, staring at the screen. I had only posted a single picture, nothing dramatic, nothing pointed, just my hand holding a mug of cocoa. Soft light, a quiet moment. But the way Alina was unraveling, you would think I had set fire to her front lawn. I picked up the phone, held it in my hands, and felt a tired pulse settle under my ribs. My name is Martha Ellery, 61 years old, born and raised in Savannah. And for most of my life, I have never done anything that could be considered dangerous or rebellious. Yet here I was, apparently committing some terrible offense by simply existing online. When the next vibration hit, something inside me went still. Mama, are you trying to embarrass us? Delete it. I am serious. Her words pulled me straight back to dinner earlier that evening, the moment everything shifted. We had barely finished passing the roasted chicken around the table when Alina cleared her throat and looked directly at me. Her husband, Grant, kept his eyes glued to his plate. I knew something was coming, but I did not expect the blade to be so clean. Mama, she said, I don't think it's a good idea for you to come to Christmas this year. I remember the sound of my fork touching the edge of my plate. I remember Grant stiffening but staying silent. And I remember my own reaction most clearly of all. I did not cry. I did not ask why. I simply smiled, small and cold, and nodded as if she had just informed me of the weather. Now, hours later, her panic filled my phone like a storm she could not hold back. I set the phone down and let the buzzing continue. Steady as a heartbeat I no longer recognized. The single photo remained where it was, untouched, and I wondered what exactly she thought would happen next. I barely slept. The phone finally went silent around dawn, but the quiet that followed felt heavier than the buzzing had. By morning, I moved through my kitchen like someone walking through someone else's life. The chair scraped softly as I sat, and the sound seemed louder than any of Alina's messages. When the door creaked open, my neighbor, Louise, peeked in the way she always had for the last 20 years. Martha, I saw your light on all night. I am fine, I said, though my voice sounded thin. Louise stepped closer. You don't look fine. I pressed my hands together. Alina told me not to come to Christmas. Louise froze. She said that to you? She looked at me and said she did not want me there. I kept my tone steady, like I was something she could remove. Louise sat across from me. After everything you have done for that girl, I let out a slow breath. I helped with their down payment. I watched her children 3 times a week. I paid nearly $200,000 for her wedding. I know none of that buys love, but I did believe it earned a seat at her table. You have always earned that, Louise said. I thought so too, I whispered. But last night, it was like she had rehearsed it. Like she had already decided I was a burden. Louise's eyes softened. You gave your whole self, Martha. And she took it, I said, because I never asked for anything back. I just stayed quiet. I let her treat me however she needed to feel elevated. Louise reached out, but I pulled my hands into my lap. She thinks she can erase me, I said quietly, as if I was never part of her life at all. The words tasted final, but not fragile. Something inside me had shifted, and I wondered if my silence all these years was the very thing that allowed her to believe she could do it. I stood in my living room long after Louise left, the silence pressing around me like a wall I had never noticed before. Alina's words echoed in my head. but not with the same sting as the night before. Something hollow had cracked open, and inside it, something steadier waited. My phone buzzed once another message from her. I did not open it. Instead, I sat at my small desk and opened my laptop. My fingers hovered over the keys, unsure of what I meant to do. I was not looking for escape. I was not looking for revenge. I simply wanted to breathe without being told my presence was inconvenient. A banner appeared on the screen. Holiday coastal cruises from Charleston. A ship gliding through calm water, warm lights, people smiling, not performing. I clicked without thinking. When I reached the booking page, I hesitated only once. A Christmas week cabin, I murmured. Saying it out loud made it real. My heart thudded. Not with fear, but with something bright and unfamiliar. Self-respect. I entered my information and pressed the button. Booked. The confirmation email chimed instantly. I stared at it, then felt the corner of my mouth lift, not a polite smile, not a shaky one, a beginning. I shut the laptop. I was done waiting for an invitation. I did not plan to post anything. The house was quiet, the kind of quiet that sinks into your bones. And I only wanted proof that the silence did not swallow me whole. I made a cup of cocoa, held it in both hands, and snapped a small photo. Nothing posed, nothing dramatic. I wrote the caption slowly. Choosing peace tonight? I pressed post and set the phone aside. It buzzed before I even reached the sink. Mama? What are you doing? Another followed instantly. Take that down. People will misunderstand. I blinked at the screen. It is just a photo. Alina, no, it is not. You are making a statement. I am sitting in my kitchen. She typed so fast I imagined her fingers shaking. Grant says you are making us look bad. Delete it. As if summoned, a new message appeared. Grant, a man who had barely spoken to me at dinner. Martha, please remove the post. It invites questions. We are trying to keep things calm. I stared at his words. We are trying to keep things calm. As if I had caused the chaos by breathing, I typed back. It is a picture of a mug. There is nothing to delete. Alina called immediately. I answered because the ringing grated against my nerves. Mama, people are asking why you are alone. Why you posted that instead of being with family. Why you did it after tonight. Her voice was too high, stretched thin with something close to panic. I steadied mine. Because I wanted to. You are being spiteful. That is not true. It feels like you are punishing me. I am having cocoa, I said softly. Nothing more. She exhaled sharply, the sound biting through the line. Just stop, Mama. Please, do not make this bigger than it is. I hung up before she could say anything else. The phone buzzed again and again, messages piling on top of one another, each more frantic than the last. I did not touch the photo, and their panic only grew. The next morning, I woke with a steadiness I had not felt in years. My phone was lined with unread messages from Alina, each one sharper than the last, but I left them untouched. I showered, put on a clean blouse, and drove to the small salon I had not visited since before Grant entered her life. When I walked in, Sherry, the stylist who had known me for 2 decades, raised an eyebrow. Well, look who finally remembered she deserves to look good. I sat in her chair. I booked a cruise. She paused, her scissors glinting. You alone. Yes, I said. For Christmas week. A slow smile spread across her face. About time. While she worked. My phone buzzed in my purse. I ignored it. When she finished, the mirror showed a woman with soft waves framing her face, looking like she belonged somewhere brighter. After the salon, I stopped at a small boutique near the square. The clerk approached gently. Shopping for something special. A few dresses, I said. For a trip I have not taken before, she brought choices in emerald, navy, and cream. I picked two, ran my hands over the fabric, and let myself imagine stepping into them without apology. When I returned home, I finally glanced at my phone. Alina again. Mama, what are you doing? You are acting different. Another message followed. You are overreacting. Can you please behave normally? Then, the one that made my chest tighten, I deleted our old pictures. They were giving people the wrong idea. I opened her social media page. The photos of holidays, birthdays, and graduations were gone, wiped clean, as if I had never stood beside her at all. My hands stilled on the screen. If she could erase me there, I wondered what else she was willing to rewrite. I left Savannah before the sun had fully risen. The sky still a pale, unfinished blue. The quiet inside the car felt different this time, lighter, almost purposeful. My phone sat face down in the cup holder. It had buzzed twice as I locked the front door, but I ignored it. I had already packed enough weight. I was not taking any more. Halfway to Charleston, I noticed a few missed notifications, but I kept my eyes on the road. When I arrived at the port, a woman with silver braids and bright eyes stepped into line beside me. First cruise, she asked. Yes, I said. She grinned. I am Ruth. I promise it is not as intimidating as it looks. Her voice was warm, the kind of warmth that does not demand anything in return. I let myself lean toward it. A man a few steps ahead turned around. If Ruth is here, you are in good hands, he said. I am Caleb. I nodded, surprised by how easily my name came out. Martha. As we boarded, Caleb glanced at the ship's long corridor. Feels like stepping into another version of life, doesn't it? It does, I said. Inside the dining area, the three of us found a table together. The waiter asked if we were celebrating anything. Caleb shrugged. New beginnings. Maybe. Ruth lifted her glass, and leaving behind what hurts. Their words took root, somewhere I had forgotten existed. My phone buzzed again, vibrating against the wood of the table. Ruth glanced at it, then at me. If you need to get that, I do not, I said, and pushed it further away. Caleb smiled faintly. Good. Dinner came, and for the first time in months, I ate a meal without bracing myself for someone's disappointment. Later, when I stepped onto the deck, the ship horn sounded a low, steady note rolling across the water. The noise settled into my chest like an anchor lifting. I had truly left, and I wondered what Alina would do once she realized that, on the third night of the cruise, Ruth insisted on taking a picture of me in the jade green dress I had bought at the boutique. You look radiant, she said, lifting my phone. Let the world see it. I hesitated only a moment before letting her snap the photo. My smile was real, soft at the edges, the kind that comes from remembering you are still allowed to feel joy. I posted it with a simple caption, Evening Breeze. 5 minutes later, my phone vibrated. Mama, what is this? Another message followed immediately. Why are you dressed like that? People are messaging me. I sighed and set the phone aside. But it buzzed again. Grant this time. Martha, this is inappropriate. You are drawing attention. Ruth raised an eyebrow. Everything all right? Just family, I said. The phone continued. Alina again. You are acting like nothing happened. Stop posting. Then, do you understand what you are causing? I turned the phone off. The next morning during breakfast, it buzzed the second I powered it on. A message from a number I did not recognize. Your mother is embarrassing everyone online. Grant's mother. A woman who had barely spoken to me at the wedding. I responded. I am enjoying a vacation. Alina called immediately. I stepped away from the table and answered. Mama, stop this. You look desperate. I am happy, I said. That is not the point, she snapped. People think you are trying to get attention. Then let them think it, I replied. For a moment, she said nothing, only breathing sharply into the receiver. Delete the posts. All of them. No. The silence that followed felt jagged, as if she had never heard that word from me before. I hung up, and when I returned to the table, the phone buzzed again, more frantic than ever, as if the truth behind their panic was clawing its way to the surface. The phone buzzed again just as Ruth and Caleb stood to get more coffee. I reached for it, ready to silence the noise, when a new message flashed across the screen, a screenshot, anonymously forwarded by someone who had access. Thought you should see this. I opened the image, and it was a group chat. Alina, Grant, and several people I barely knew. My daughter's words were highlighted. My mother is embarrassing. She does not fit in with Grant's family. I told her not to come for a reason. Another, if she keeps acting like this, people will think I come from nothing. My throat tightened. Before I could breathe, another screenshot arrived. Then another. Grant's message this time. We need to manage her. She does not understand how she makes us look. My hand shook. I typed back, "Who is this?" A reply came quickly. "Someone who is tired of watching them act this way. I work with Grant. He sent these to the wrong thread once. I saved them." I stared at the words. Why send them to me now? Because they are blaming you online. And it is not right. You deserve to know the truth. A final screenshot followed. This one cut deeper than the rest. Alina. If she keeps posting, I am deleting every picture of her. People already ask why she looks so out of place next to us. I swallowed hard. My thumb hovered over the screen before I finally typed. "Thank you. You did not deserve this." The stranger wrote. I saved every screenshot, every message, dragging them into a folder on my phone, then onto a small USB I kept in my travel bag. Ruth returned, placing a warm hand on my arm. "Everything all right?" "Not yet," I said quietly, but I felt something settle in my chest, steady, deliberate. It was almost time to stop pretending I did not know who they really were. I returned to Savannah the morning the cruise docked, the cold air meeting me like a truth I was finally ready to face. Alina was waiting on my porch with Grant, his mother, and a tight line of tension across all their faces. I had barely stepped out of the car before Alina rushed forward. "Mama, can we talk inside?" Alina asked, voice tight. Her voice shook, not with fear, but with the need to regain control. I brushed past her and unlocked the front door. Then let us talk. Once we were all in the living room, Grant spoke first. "Your behavior these past few days has caused problems for us." His mother added, "People in our circle are asking questions. This is not acceptable." I sat on the edge of the sofa, calm in a way that felt entirely new. "You dragged me into my own home to scold me." "It is not scolding," Alina snapped. "It is you creating drama. You posting pictures like some desperate teenager." I lifted a hand. "Enough." She blinked. Grant shifted uncomfortably. I reached into my purse and set the small USB on the coffee table. "Before this goes any further, we will listen to something." Grant frowned. "What is that evidence?" I said. Grant's mother stiffened. "Evidence of what I connected the USB to the small speaker I used for music and played the first audio clip, Grant's voice. Smooth and cold. We need to manage her. She does not understand how she makes us look." Grant paled. "Martha, that is taken out of context." I played the next one. Alina's recorded message from the group chat. "My mother does not fit in with Grant's family. If she keeps posting, I am deleting every picture. I cannot let people think I come from nothing." Alina gasped. "Where did you get that? A co-worker of Grant sent them to me," I replied. "Apparently. You sent them to the wrong thread once." Grant's mother stood abruptly, her voice sharp. "You spoke about your own mother like that. And you," she turned on Grant. "You encouraged it." Grant swallowed hard. "She exaggerates." "No," she said, trembling with disgust. "I will not have this tied to my family. You can stay at your sister's place until I decide what to do about this mess. Grant's face crumpled. Alina stepped toward me, tears filling her eyes. Mama, I did not mean… You meant every word, I said. And you said them because you thought I would never know. She reached out, but I stepped back. You tried to erase me. Now the truth sits in the middle of this room, and all I did was press play. Alina sank onto the couch, the facade she held for years cracking down the center. I closed the laptop and stood. I finally held the power, and I had a choice to make about what came next. Alina sat on my couch, shoulders trembling, her mascara smudged in uneven lines. Grant stood near the doorway, stunned into a silence he should have discovered years ago. His mother kept her coat clutched in her fist, looking at the two of them as if she had never seen either before. Mama, please, Alina whispered. Let us fix this. You had every chance to fix it, I said. My voice didn't rise. It didn't need to. You chose convenience. You chose image. You did not choose me. She shook her head, reaching out again. I was trying to survive. Grant's family. That is enough. His mother cut in sharply. Your mother gave you everything. And you threw her away because you thought we wanted… that. She gestured at the screenshots on the table, disgust twisting her expression. Grant tried to speak. We were stressed. I picked up my coat. I am done accepting excuses. Alina's voice cracked. Are you leaving? Yes, I answered. For Christmas dinner. I will be with people who treat me as if I exist. I walked to the door. I knew they would need time to process, and I was done waiting. Outside, my breath came easier. When I walked in, they both rose from the table. There she is, Caleb said warmly. We ordered you the pecan pie. Ruth squeezed my hand. Merry Christmas. Martha. For the first time in a long time, the words felt like they belonged to me. We talked. We laughed. We ate until my ribs ached from smiling. And when Ruth snapped a picture of us three people choosing joy, I let her post it without a second thought. If you felt this story in your chest, go ahead and comment where you're watching from, and subscribe for more stories just like this one. Later that night, as I locked my door behind me, I felt something settle inside my chest. Quiet, steady, mine, that Christmas. I did not lose a daughter, I lost the version of myself who accepted being treated like she did not matter. What future can you build when you finally stop apologizing for existing?